Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening, as we're here now on Wednesday, the 24th of April 2024, and we're at 6 p.m. Central Time. So, as we talk to each other on this, why is the market down so much in these three indices tonight? You're not even dropping much in the Russell. It is because earnings season. And the tech stocks came out today, a few of them. We get more of them coming up right away. But Meta came out, and if you looked at the numbers initially, they looked pretty darn good, not bad. Until you got to the amount of money they're spending to get AI up and running. And remember, they're doing really well on their advertising. I read the numbers on their cost per, how they've taken it there. I advertise with them, and it's definitely better placements and so on. Okay, but the cost of setting up AI and AI centers, these data centers, is off the wall. And once the investors saw it, away you went. Many people had thought maybe they'll get a 5%, maybe at the outside a 10% drop if the numbers were bad. It went down 20% in the aftermarket today. It's not down that as I'm talking to you, it's down about 16% or 15%, but that is the reason that it gets hit. And this isn't one of those stocks that has crazy PE ratio, but it's heavily weighted in a lot of these markets. It is one of the MAG stocks, and away you go, and this market really got itself hit. So got to pay attention to those things always, got it? And that's what's happening there. The dollar recovered a little bit, and tonight you're just sort of drifting. I expect this drifting until Friday morning at 7:30 when we get the PCE indexes. When they come out, that gives the naysayers a look-see, and they go, oh no, the Fed's going to cut by July, or all right, maybe it's going to then have to be September. But it tells us where we're going to be. Is the number stronger or weaker? You got to pay attention. Energies are sort of flat in the water. Bonds and notes were down again today, so they're getting a little bit of a bounce tonight, and that's about all that I can say about them. When we look at the data for tomorrow, we start off with first quarter GDP. We get our good look at it, so we're going to see where that's at. But in the metal tape, I'm going, first look at the first of the quarter, and I'm going, which quarter? I don't know why I got confused last quarter. U.S. jobless claims will be released at 7:30. National Association of Realtors for the home sales will come out at 9. We get the natural gas storage numbers at 9:30, and it wraps itself up with the KC Fed manufacturing. But remember, you're in a big week, for earnings, because 178 companies reporting this week. So I'm just giving you a couple. Ford did well. It backed away from EV and turned its attention to hybrid and commercial sales. Stock went up nicely today. Chipotle's still doing good. I can go on and on with Whirlpool, their pricing power, where they're at. But understand this tech thing is very important because it drove the market to the upside. It's leading it to the downside right now, and you've got to pay attention. When we look at the S&P, I thought we might fight a battle when we had done this chart at the weekly charts. I didn't realize how accurate that was going to be, but it's right there. If you take my full charting course, you learn, because I redid the whole course, and I teach the importance of how markets like to return there, why they do it, the tendencies, so on and so forth. And that's on our website, iraepstein.com, under education. Here's the S&P 500 index, and here's a bounce in the market so far. But the pattern is lower highs, lower lows. You're in a downtrend, period. To negate it, you got to get back over today. Wednesday's high, you've already gotten through Wednesday's low, and close over that, and that would give you an idea you're out of the downtrend. Where's the resistance? Well, I was really hoping you'd get higher towards the 18-day average of closes, because that's where I expect it. I expect support to come in at the 100-day average, the 50, let's call it 50-30 for the lack of anything else. And the reason I had looked for that was you had lost a bearish embedded reading, and you normally make a run better than this to that 18-day average before you go back under that low. So we're still very live in which way is this going to turn. When you take a look at the NASDAQ, no, it hit its objective. The objective here wasn't the 18, it's this moving average. And it did it when it lost it. And now the market is sitting here in a full-fledged downtrend. But these markets are oversold at current prices. When we take a look at the macro mini Dow, when you lost the embedded reading, the objective, as I said, was the 100-day average. And for good measure, I was hoping it would hit the 18. It didn't have to. And it did it today. It just said, hey, Ira, I'll give you something you're happy with. And boom. But you've basically got the bias down, no trend. You got a higher high, lower low, and you've corrected, past tense, in oversold condition. And as we're sitting here in the Russell, this market also had the bearish embedded reading that was lost. So the target was right here. If we come to it, I don't know if I can get this to do that. Yeah, I can. It would be the 100-day average at 2028. You got within 5 points. I don't consider that hitting it. So we'll see if it can still reach up to it or not. That and the 18-day average look like the resistance point to me to finish off the upside momentum. It doesn't mean that this thing's looking good or bad yet. I'm still fully in the bear camp in the 10-year notes. You got the embedded reading, lower highs, lower lows, and the 5-year. When you learn to tie together, just like this, think of this trade, the Bollinger Band's embedding and not Bollinger, the slow stochastics embedding, and where the Bollinger Band is, a tool comes together for you. Learn to use it. It's called my Enhanced Bollinger Band course, and I think it's one of the best courses I ever did. But you only take that after you've taken my full course if you want to learn how to use the moving averages with everything. All right, in the dollar index, 2 days in a row now, you're out of the embedded reading. So before prices go for the highs, my theory is that before that happens, it should make a run at the low of the 18-day average of closes. And in the euro, when you lost the bearish reading, you should go to the high. So I'm still waiting to see if those will do it before they make either new lows in the dollar, new highs in the dollar, or new lows in the euro. Let me get to the British pound. This market lost its bearish embedded reading yesterday, and as you could see, it was up a little bit today. It's hanging in there. I wouldn't be surprised if you make a run to the 18-day average to finish things off. Don't know how that would happen, but before you get down here, that's what I'm expecting to occur in the market. Bitcoin had its halving incident for the first 3 days of this week. It got up right to which line? You tell me. What do I call that line? The line in the sand. That's your neutral number, and now it's slipping back on it. Now, I'll turn friendly on this market the next time you get over 67,300, but until that happens, all it was a bounce. And now the bias is still down, but it's not trending down. When we look at Brent versus WTI oil, you can see that the spread, I was hoping you would just touch that 18-day average. You didn't, but that's still a sign that it is stronger than the WTI. But all of them are staying under the 18-day average, which means the bias is down. You've just been drifting ever since last week when Israel struck Iran, and that sort of ended this tit for tat between the two, and this is where you're at. We have to keep our eye on Rafah. A tent city is up. If you look at satellite images, they're all over the internet. There's a 40,000 tent city that Israel is putting up, and most of it's up. Each tent can handle 10 to 12 people. That's 500,000 people that they're going to be moving out, minimum, could be more. They're getting ready to go in and finish their job. So you're seeing that the Israeli aircraft today did some of the most intense bombing they have for the war. And they were hitting different areas all over the place. As they say, they're doing surgical strikes. Sure. In the gasoline market, lower highs, lower lows, and you can see the lower Bollinger Band. Now, AAA went in and came out with statements yesterday and today, and they were talking about why isn't gasoline taken off? I think they're missing that this is not when it normally does. Yes, orders for spring and summer will start coming in from the gas stations and the like, but April 24th. How many of you have kids in school that they're out right now because they're through for the summer? None of them. So you're not taking your car trips yet. Your travel is done for Easter, for Passover. Most of us that did that, that's over too. So now you're waiting for the next events, which are late spring, summer driving. We'll see if the market comes alive for that. In the Nat Gas, higher high, lower low. Now this is real bad. I didn't think this market was going to return so fast to the lower Bollinger Band. Is this going to prove to be a top if it breaks out to the downside? Can go that way, so you got to be very nimble right here. But I'm always looking at Bollinger Bands. If you noticed, and I'm talking to you, do you know how to work with them? My course will teach you. You get the charting software I'm using with all the indicators I use. You get access to my morning videos where I teach you and I review this over and over for 2 weeks. That's included. Those two, by the way, the charting software will run you, if you bought it, 160. The course is 120. So I'm able to give you all this for you to work with it. Give it a try. Learn a little bit. Go to our website, Ira Epstein. Under the word education, or move your cursor right through here, that'll do it. Or take a look at this ad and keep your cursor there. You can go right to the site and do it afterwards. I'm Ira. You have a good day. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.